Most people don't suffer because life is hard. They suffer because they are addicted to their pain. And this is why they experience suffering over and over in every scenario. Doesn't matter how many years of healing, inner work, and meditation, they always find themselves in that loop of suffering. So today I'm going to break that through so that you will never suffer again and never go back to that place that created the suffering. So in order to break through from that place of suffering, I want to share with you this identity trap that creates this suffering, that keeps you stuck in the same loop, that keeps you wanting more but not having more. And that happens because of this identity trap. So the identity trap is the self, you, is stuck between these three cycle. The cycle of your identity, the self concept that you have. So you probably heard plenty of time the identity matters. But what most people don't tell you is the identity is not the way you are perceived on the outside. It is the way subconsciously you see yourself from the inside. Subconsciously, you are constantly having that self talk with yourself that is feeding into your identity. And this is why it is a loop within itself. Somebody who's operating from the identity of suffering, so they are wounded, they are in pain, right? So they will have an inner dialogue within themselves that I'm not good enough. Why did you make that mistake? You are stupid. You are silly. You never do things properly. That's your fault. That's your mistake. They keep having that self talk, or my hair doesn't look good, my face doesn't look good, my body doesn't look good. They keep having that self talk that is creating their self concept, i.e., the identity. It's just looping itself within itself over and over and over, and they keep reprogramming themselves. Your subconscious mind really take in everything you say to yourself. And shortly, I'll share an exercise with you that will blow your mind by knowing how powerful your subconscious mind is and how quickly it adapts. What I want you to know is that this identity, this self concept, where you're subconsciously creating and having that self talk, the way you see yourself, the way you perceive yourself. So the perception of you is creating the identity of you. And the identity, if it's wounded, if it's suffering, that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I can never be successful, I cannot have wealth and abundance, I cannot find love, and then it just within itself looping, right? The second part is the illusion. The illusion comes from all the past experiences, all the conditioning, the environment you grew up, the childhood you had, the people you were around, the conditioning you had, the way they perceived you, the way they treated you or mistreated you. It is all creating that illusion. I will explain to you why I call that illusion. But it is creating that illusion, the environment, the past. It's all creating that illusion that keeps you in that trap. Because that illusion says, oh, I had a really tough childhood, or I had a really difficult marriage, or I had really bad experiences, right? And we say that to ourselves. And most of us, we trap ourselves in that story, in that illusion that this happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to me, that happened to me, this happened to me. Therefore, I am broken. Therefore, I'm unworthy. Therefore, I'm not enough. Therefore, I cannot be successful because I have too much trauma. I cannot be successful. I cannot have money. I cannot be a millionaire. I cannot find love because I had so much trauma in my life. Therefore, I cannot be there. So what happens? And the reason I call this illusion, because the moment it is happening, it is true. But when that moment is gone, it becomes an illusion. It becomes a trap because time has gone. The time that it happened, it is gone. And I know more than anyone else that how painful it is when we go through traumatic events, how challenging it is when we go through traumatic event. By the way, if you don't know me, my name is Sadaf. I call myself Sadaf Heals, and my background was in investment banking, and I had a spiritual awakening. I became aware of my spiritual gifts, my psychic abilities open. I became a healer. I started working with people. So really the purpose of this YouTube channel is to help you tap into your divine power to find emotional and financial freedom. And I call this not a YouTube channel. I call this energetic portal. So this is all about transcending you to your highest version of you. So the past experiences, and the reason I say that I know more than anyone can that traumatic events can be really challenging to break through is because I went through really challenging and traumatic events from a 16-year-old teenage bride moving to different countries, marrying somebody I didn't know, and stuck in a marriage which was abusive, and then running away at 20 without any family, without home, without any financial support, to building my life, to investment banking, then quitting that, and then building this spiritual business. So I know what traumatic events are. I know the pain. I know the suffering. I really do deeply. This is why I can help people, because I've felt it, I've experienced it. So the reason it is an illusion, because it is only valid in that moment. So when I went through that traumatic event of that marriage, living in that abusive space, it was true in that moment. It was true, absolute truth. No denying it was true, right? But 10 years after that, it's no longer true. Even 5 minutes after that, it's no longer true because it's gone. It's gone. But what happens, because we experience such a strong emotion in our body, when something traumatic happens, we get stuck, we get frozen, we get numb. And that's exactly what happened with me. I got frozen and numb in that memory that happened in that moment. And then I could not break through from that memory. I was like constantly living in that state, even though it happened years ago. Even though I broken free from that environment, I left that marriage, I got divorced, right? I left that years and years ago, but I was trapped in that memory because I was frozen, because that traumatic memory was very painful and I could not break through from that. So this is why we want to understand from a place of love and from a place of compassion. Yes, that happened, but it is not true now. It is not true now. I am not in that toxic marriage. I am not suffering. I am not stuck in an environment that is abusive. I am not. And that is also true, right? It is true. It is true, right? But because in our mind, it creates all of that scenario over and over. And that's why people get stuck, because they are living the same scenario over and over. And that's why it is an illusion. It's not true. It's just the mind being stuck in that state of being and cannot overcome. So it gets stuck in that space without coming out. So it is from a higher perspective. And the reason I'm sharing that with you, so that you break through. Because if I just comfort you in your pain, you will remain in your pain. I want you to break through from that pain. So I'm shedding light in the higher truth. And when you can see the higher truth, you will know that that is not true anymore. Right? That is not true anymore. And I am saying that because I remember I was living a good life. Everything was fine. I was living in peace and I was working for banks, but I had a happy environment. I was okay. I was feeling okay. But it was so strange. I was still every day woke up with that fear, with that anxiety, with that panic in my body. And one day it just occurred to me. One day it just came to me that everything is fine. I was like, oh my God, for years I've been just walking and moving in life like it's constantly happening. Like A lion is chasing, and that's what body feels. When our nervous system is contracting, when we are in suffering, when we are so identifying with that traumatic event, then our body really feel that we are being chased by a lion. So that's why it contracts. That's why it becomes like, oh, tight, and it's all the anxiety, panic, and feels like you can't breathe. So it needs to save all the energies in order to run, in order to be hyper vigilant, in order to be able to see everything, right? So when I realized, oh my God, everything is fine. I am at peace. I have a home. I am not being attacked or targeted in any way. Everything is fine. I can be happy. And that was such a liberating moment. Oh, I can be happy. I can breathe. I am safe, right? And before that, that thought never occurred. I was still operating from that illusion that I am being attacked or I'm being tortured in some ways. So that is what the illusion is. And the illusion keeps people stuck for years. And I definitely was. For many years, I was stuck in that. But I want you to break through from that. So the identity then is constantly feeding into the illusion and keep telling itself that I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm broken, I'm damaged. Right? The third part is the reality. So with the subconscious identity, the self-concept, plus the illusion will create the reality that we experience. The experience of reality could be pain, could be creating scenarios or attracting scenarios that are painful. The people, the love life, the relationships, the business opportunities, or the boss, they are all painful. Like they are toxic, they are traumatic, right? Because the identity identify itself with trauma, with pain, with suffering. Therefore, it creates the reality of suffering, of pain, of trauma, of toxicity, of negativity, right? And this loop is non-stop going on, and people cannot break through from that. They cannot break through from that because it's all feeding in itself, and the person is stuck. They cannot come out of this. And the only way they can come out of it when they know the higher truth, that this is an illusion. This is not true. I do not need to identify with that. I can break through that. Yes, I went through hardship. My story, my past was hard, but I no longer need to identify with that. So you can change your perception from that. Because ultimately, and I always say that, and it's so, so important, ultimately, you are the universe expressing itself through you. You are the universe expressing itself through you. Universe wanted to experience the physical form. Therefore, you were created. And now universe is expressing itself through you. And because of it, the divine essence, the God essence is within you. God essence is within you. So you are not just your trauma. You are not just your suffering. You are not just your pain. You are not just your past. You are actually divine essence operating in this 3D reality, creating the life that you are creating. So you are not this thing that you think that you are. You are so much more than that. You're a multi-dimensional being living on this planet. So you have to see, surpass all of this that is created. And when you can stop identifying with that and you see yourself, the divine essence is within you, you are the light, you can shift yourself so rapidly in a second, in a moment, by making a choice. By making a choice that suffering doesn't need to exist in your life if you choose to. Because most people, they suffer because they are so identifying with that they're suffering. They're addicted to their pain. They like to suffer. And that's a sad reality. People love to suffer because that is familiar. And whatever is familiar, we like to be within it because it's familiar. It doesn't matter how painful that is, right? And that familiarity keeps us stuck. Because we are like, oh, yes, I'm familiar with my story, my pain, and I can talk about it. I can share it with people. People will know, people empathize with me, sympathize with me. People will understand where I'm coming from, and it is important for me. And at some point, it is important. At some level, it is important. If you've never spoken about your truth, your story, your journey, yes, you should share. But we also need to be aware of who are we sharing with. Are they going to create more pain, or are they going to elevate that pain? This is why therapy helps. Therapy helps because people go there and they share their pain. And for a moment, it helps. And it may not be permanent solution, but for a moment, it helps. So this is why it is important on some level that it's okay to share what happened, but do not identify with that forever. Do not live in that forever, right? That's not the way of living. That is just creating more suffering for yourself by being stuck in that illusion. And I said to you, I'll share with you this beautiful exercise, and you can do it with me. In 10 seconds, you will know that how powerful your mind is. It will take 10 seconds. So what I want you to do, I want you to bring your hand together. I want you to do this with me right now. And I want you to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, I want you to imagine and visualize that your hands are glued together. Just hold it tightly. Your hands are glued together. They are glued with super glue. Therefore, they cannot be separated. Imagine that, feel that, and really believe your hands are glued together. Now I want you to open your eyes. Now I want you to try to separate your hand. What you will notice, and I'm noticing, we just did it together. What you will notice, you cannot separate your hand. You cannot separate your hand. Because we've just told in last 10 seconds to your subconscious mind that your hands are glued together. And now you can slowly come back. But for a moment, for a few seconds, even if you try to separate, it would not separate. And let me know in the comments if that happened to you. Because the truth is, your subconscious mind reads into every instruction that you give. And we've just done that for 10 seconds. Imagine years of telling yourself that you are broken, you are unworthy, you are not enough, you are damaged, you are unsuccessful, you are a failure. Imagine telling yourself for years and years, people doubting you, people limiting you, people making you feel not enough, people making you feel small. All that self-talk. Imagine how your subconscious mind gets programmed in that limitation, in that pain that you cannot break through. And this is why just 10 seconds of this and your mind believe, your subconscious mind believe your hands is glued together. Even though consciously you know that you can separate your hand. But subconsciously, the subconscious believe your hand glued together. Do you see that? Do you see how this works? Do you see how powerful your mind is? So if we can give instruction to our mind in a negative way, in a way that I'm not good enough, not worthy, how can we give instruction to our mind to tell ourselves that I'm free? I am liberated. I am no longer suffering. I am in ease. I am in freedom. I am in peace. I am in abundance. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am deeply supported. I am so supported. Everybody loves me. Everybody wants to be around me. Imagine if you start giving instruction to your subconscious mind like that. How quickly you can change, right? You can change. And that's the power. This is why I did the deep work, because I wanted to permanently change. And this is what I take through my clients with that process where they experience divine breakthrough. They experience a breakthrough that they've never experienced before. And when they can find that space of peace and light, they break free from all of this. They break free from that because they are then connected to their divine essence, their divine power. So how do you break free from suffering so that you never suffer again? How you break free is by, it should say, freedom from self. How do we create freedom from the self is you can choose a version of you that is operating from a higher level. Choice is yours. So if you choose a version of you that is operating in wealth, abundance, ease, peace, that has no problem. It has no problem. Everything works out easily and effortlessly. Abundance comes easily and effortlessly. Money flows easily and effortlessly. Then you're choosing a version of you. The choice is you. You make those choices. And when you make those choices, you are tapping into the higher self. You are tapping into your divine power. So from today onward, start choosing that. Start choosing your higher self. And when we say higher self, it feels like really far away. You can just choose the idea of peace, idea of things becoming easier and easier for you. You can choose the idea of just freedom, love, peace, money coming easily, money just flowing in easily. Just the idea. This is all part of your higher self. So you can break that down. What does that look like to you? And the second part is the observer effect. This is single handedly can shift your life permanently, break all the suffering and break all the pain, and give you and allow you to have your manifestation coming to your reality. This alone can do that, the observer effect. What the observer effect is, from a spiritual term and obviously proven by science as well, is that whatever you observe, it expands and it becomes the matter. So the matter is created through observation, because ultimately the whatever we observe, it expands into the reality. So this is why people who are constantly focused on suffering and pain, they're expanding that to be truth. This is why they attract pain. This is why I attract people who create more pain. This is why they go through challenges, because they're observing the pain, the suffering, the difficulties. Therefore, they attract people who create that for them. The other part is you observe the reality you desire. Even though you may not be able to see it right now, but you can observe it. You can observe it in your mind. You can really observe and really visualize and see the reality you want. The love, the abundance, the ease, the peace, the comfort, the villa, the freedom, the impact, being an author, being a speaker, doesn't matter what that is. Really seeing yourself as that truth within you, that this is who you are. When you can really observe it deeply, that will become your truth. And if you want to go deeper into the observer effect, I will link a video somewhere so that you know, where I talk more about observer effect and how it really works and how it changes, because ultimately we are all energy and frequency, and whatever we observe, we expand and make that true for us. So start observing wealth, start observing full bank account, start observing love, start observing ease and peace for yourself. The third thing is, and this is so important, I don't think anyone talks about that, is neutralizing the frequency. Neutralizing the frequency of the desires. So if you want love, if you want wealth, abundance, then I want you to operate from that frequency. But not just operate from that, but neutralize it. That this is me. This is who I am. This is wealth is my birthright. Love is my birthright. I'm born loved. I'm born abundant. Like, make it real for you. Operate from that frequency and energy. And it has to feel neutral. It has to feel that it is you. Most people, what they do, they create separation from it. They think, yeah, in the future, when I become this, when I do this, when I do that, then I will, maybe in 5 years' time, maybe in 10 years' time. No, 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 no. We want to be that now. That we want to feel abundant, we want to feel loved now, not in 5 years' time, not when you fix everything that you feel that is wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are whole and complete. And everything that you see that is wrong with you, we need to start loving those part of you so that they feel whole and complete. And this is why the now, that's how you neutralize, by believing that you are that now, in this moment, in this second, you are now. And when you can do that, that's when you neutralize the frequency. Because if you're putting anything on pedestal, you cannot manifest, you cannot have. If you think that, oh, it requires this, then you're just playing a different game. We don't want to do that. We want to feel whatever we desire in the now, in this moment, in this second. We want to feel that I am loved. We want to feel I am abundant, I am peace. And when you do that, things start to shift so rapidly. And if you struggle with that, then you should apply for my mentoring, because the deep work that we do within Divine Academy, the academy that I've started, where we go deeper into your subconscious, we go deeper into your energetic field, your subconscious identity, your generational ancestral wounds, and we shift you from that space, so that anything that is blocking you from any space and time, we can release it on an instant by going deeper into your identity, your subconscious identity, going deeper into your cellular system that changes everything. And I do energy work, I do frequency work, I'm a healer. So we really shift things generationally, cellularly, subconsciously. And if you want that, then you can click the link below to apply for my mentoring so that you actually stop suffering and start realizing the divine power that is within you, the light that is within you, the wealth that is within you. You are just one frequency away from that wealth, that abundance, that ease, and that peace. So if you would love that, then click the link below to apply for my mentoring. Other than that, like this video if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. And may the light in me reaches the light in you.